fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. Today I am here for another WIP and chat. If you're new here, welcome. WIP stands for Work in Progress, and I'm going to be working on this. This is a 40 by 30 project from Fansells. So I'm going to be working on this while I chat, hence WIP and chat. And you are welcome and encouraged to go get whatever project you're working on and work alongside while you listen to me chat. Or, treat this like a podcast if you're listening in your living room, in your car, wherever you're comfortable, and just listen while I chat. So, as I said, I'm going to be working on this Fansells project. This is a 40 by 30 round, and I am going to zoom you guys in a little bit and do some adjusting here so that you guys can see what I'm working on. And hopefully that will stay in place while I work. And then I'm just going to start chatting. Okay. So hopefully that will stay in place. Once again, guys, I have no plan. I have turned off my phone, so I shouldn't be interrupted. I've hung up my sign, so no one in my house should interrupt me. I'm currently uploading another video, so that should give me time to make this video so that I have time to edit it and I'm not doing it the last minute like I have done the last couple of weeks, because that's starting to make me crazy. I'm also going to have to take some time this week to clean. My craft room is starting to drive me crazy. It is so, it's not dirty, it's just dusty, I guess. It's not as clean as I would like it to be, and so I just need to spend some time cleaning. I want to rearrange some things too, because I've made the switch from my old Windows PC to a Mac. That also means that there's been an issue with the printers. My old printer does not, it's so old that they don't make drivers for the Mac. So it works and I can print to it, but I can't do all the fancy scanning and stuff that I need to with it. And I do have another printer, so I think we're going to end up using that one, which means I feel like I need to reorganize a bit, because I had my office / craft room set up to where that was my main printer. The other one is kind of buried, so I can't really use it easily, and I need to switch that around. And if I'm going to be switching that around, I feel like I want to make some other changes at the same time. We moved a bookcase up here, several months ago, the last time I decided to get everything organized in here. And I have been storing diamond paintings on it so that they're not just sitting in the floor of my craft room, which has been fine, but I want to get all of them up out of the floor, and I still have some that are on the floor. I have several in stages because I have several that are unboxed but not kitted up, and I need more room for them in the closet, which is currently being occupied by the extra ones in the closet. So I'm going to go furniture shopping in our downstairs and see if there is a different bookshelf or some shelving or something that I can steal from down there and repurpose up here in my room. Reorganize my printers at the same time and just kind of reconfigure some stuff so that my workflow is a little bit better / faster / easier now that I've changed how my computer is and everything. I don't have this big huge Windows PC tower anymore that used to sit next to the desk in the floor, so I have floor space open for something. And now the Mac Mini sits on my desk, literally on the desktop. So I need to reorganize some things that used to sit there, because that space is now taken by the Mac Mini. And yeah, just feeling the need to kind of reorganize a bit and change up how some things are set up in here. And that includes my filming setup. I have a bigger table, but I'm not really using it to its full extent. I can't because of the way things are set up. And I may wait. I want to get it done, but my husband just had surgery, so he can't really lift anything. I still have a bum knee, so I can't really do a whole lot. So, and one of the things that he wants to do while we're making a bunch of changes is currently my modem and router are on the opposite wall from where my computer sits. And he wants to change that and make them closer so he can wire some things directly to the Mac from the router to make things work a little bit faster. And that necessitates basically moving pretty much most of the furniture in here, at least somewhat. And so that probably isn't going to happen for a while because he has a lifting restriction for probably another 2 to 3 weeks at least. So, and I thought my knee was getting better, but I did something to it earlier this week. And so I am now scheduled to go have an MRI done on it because basically they have no idea what's wrong with it. And all I really know is that it is painful and I can't use it normally. So I was on crutches part of this week. I probably am still going to be on crutches, or at least a crutch, for a little bit until I can get the MRI, and then we'll see. I'm expecting that they're probably going to tell me that I need some sort of surgery. So my physical therapist is crossing his fingers that it is a particular kind of surgery because that's a pretty easy recovery rather than a full-blown kind of procedure. And so we'll see. I really would prefer, of course, not to have surgery at all, but it doesn't look like that's maybe going to be an option. And in the back of my mind, I kind of wondered if this was coming. I was injured when I was younger, and I was warned at the time that as I got older, that my knees might start to cause issues, and it looks like that may have finally happened. So, of course, it could just be genetic. Arthritis runs in my family, and although they haven't seen any arthritis, they aren't ruling that out either. So, like I said, they have no idea. So they've done a bunch of x-rays. X-rays haven't shown anything, so they're hopeful that the MRI will give them some answers. And maybe then I will be back to feeling better at some point. Because I feel like I'm back to square one where I was when I started with physical therapy, and I felt like I had made some progress. So it's really kind of disheartening to be back at the beginning again and feel like I'm starting all over, but it is what it is. I can't change it. So, I mean, I'm doing what I can. I'm doing my physical therapy exercises. The ironic thing is I was feeling better, and so my physical therapist had told me if I was up to walking again, that it shouldn't be an issue. Just go walking, and I went walking with my son, and I don't know if I stepped wrong. I don't know. I was walking on a sidewalk, so it was a flat surface. It's not like I was, I wasn't running. I was just walking. I wasn't jogging. I wasn't sprinting. I wasn't doing anything I wasn't supposed to. I was literally just walking. And felt a pop, and I couldn't walk on it anymore. Ended up having to get someone to come pick us up because I couldn't walk all the way back. We were about a half a mile from our house and only partway through our walk, and ended up having to cut it short because I couldn't walk on it anymore. So it's been a week, y'all. So my husband is almost through his recovery time. He goes back for his rechecks and then he'll be back at work, which he is not looking forward to. He has enjoyed as much as it's possible to enjoy having time off after surgery. Really, the first couple of days after the surgery, he didn't feel good. After that, he's felt pretty good. And so he's just kind of been enjoying the time off and sitting around watching television and catching up on all of his YouTube channels that he watches and just kind of puttering around the house and having a good old time. So, and I missed a 4, so I'm going to go back and pull that one out. So, amazing how you miss just one, isn't it? Okay. I liked this picture, this canvas, because, well, I liked the picture itself. And also I liked that it was round, because rounds always go faster for me. I like that it was smaller. This is 30 by 40. And, or 40 by 30, however you want to say that. And yeah, I've just been having fun because it goes so quickly. So I know some people don't enjoy that, but I do. I'm all for a quick finish sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. So, and oh my goodness, I feel like I have to sneeze, but then it goes away. And then my nose itches again. Does that mean somebody's talking about me, thinking about me? Isn't that what they say? Was it your ears burning? Somebody was talking about you. If your palm itches, you're going to get money. My nose itches. What does that mean? Is that bad luck? I hope not. As much as my nose itches, I wish that meant I was getting money, because that'd be awesome. It is cold here today. It was actually supposed to be like almost 70 today, I think, but there's a cool wind blowing out of the north and it is chilly. So I told my husband he's going to have to invest in some warm weather gear, or cold weather gear, I guess, warmer clothing for me, because we've already been talking about trying to do everything we can to kind of keep our gas bill as low as possible this winter, because they're predicting another crazy winter with insane prices. And while our city has made some changes to try and address how they buy gas for heat and things like that, it's still kind of open season. No regulations were put in place. No governmental protections. So basically, they're free to charge whatever the heck they want again this year, just like they did last year. So we were discussing ways that we could kind of cut back on how much we heated the house. And so I'm like, okay, I mean, I wear a lot of sweatshirts and everything anyway, but we were just talking about, he has a lot of clothing that's good for working outside, but he doesn't have a lot of clothing that's good for if he's cold inside. And like, he didn't own a pair of sweatpants, which we didn't really think about until he needed them after his surgery. Which thankfully my son had a pair that he was getting rid of, because he's taller than my husband and they didn't fit him anymore. But because they had shrunk, that meant they now fit my husband. So my husband was able to snag them. So he now has a pair of sweatpants, which he never had before. I don't really have sweatpants. I have like flannel pajama pants, which are nice, but not all that warm sometimes. We do have electric blankets. Well, we have one that we can put on our bed, and then I have another one that I use when I am sitting on the couch reading and things. Now that I'm thinking about it, we could give one of those to my kids, because their rooms are in the basement. So their rooms don't fluctuate as much as ours does because our room is upstairs, but it still can get cold down there, especially if it's going to be cold like it was last winter. And so now I'm thinking I've got that one that I could give to one of them. We probably should pick up another one so that my other child can have one as well. And that way we'll be toasty while we sleep, at least. So it's kind of funny because we've used our electric blanket before, but my husband he just runs hot, his little Canadian soul. And so I'll wake up and he's half out of the covers because he's so hot and I'm so shivering. So we'll see what happens this winter. I was making fun of him just today because he was complaining that he's going to need to start getting out his cold weather gear out of the garage and put it on the truck so when he goes to work he has it at work. I'm like, you're complaining an awful lot for a Canadian who's supposed to be used to all this cold weather. Because, I mean, it doesn't get as cold here. Where he's from is northeast, and it doesn't get as cold here as it does up there. We don't get nearly as much snow here as they do up there either, so just gotten soft living here in America, I guess. So, okay, so I think I'm just down to my background colors here. So, what do I want to start with? I think I'm going to start with K's. It seems like there's a lot of K's, which is weird because there's only this many of them. So I feel like I'm going to run out, but maybe it's just because they're kind of haloed around her and there's not as many as I think there's going to be. We'll see. So, let's see if I remember to use my multi-placer this week because I forgot last week. I've actually been working with a multi-placer, been testing some of those multi-placer tips that I bought. And so I've been working with them, and the section I'm working on has quite a bit of multi-placing, which has been nice because that means that it goes faster. And I feel like I'm getting more things done because they fill up faster. I need to come up with some better tips and tricks for myself to diamond paint faster. I do use multi-placers. I don't typically use multiple trays when I'm diamond painting just because, well, because I'm a klutz and I spill stuff a lot. If you've ever watched my videos, you can recognize that. And I can't tell you how many times I've had to get down on the floor and pick through the carpet and pick up drills that I've spilled. And the thought of doing that with multiple colors out is just frightening some days. So I don't really do that. So I was trying to think of other ways that I could kind of make things go faster for myself. Don't know that I've come up with any yet, but I'm still looking, right? Sometimes I just have trouble thinking outside the box. You know, I'll see somebody on YouTube do something and I'll be like, okay, that's like so ridiculously obvious. Why didn't I ever think of that? But that's not how my brain works sometimes. So that's why I like to watch other YouTubers and see how they do things, because I might learn something that I can use that would make me better, faster at doing this. I had to laugh today. I went and got my hair done today, which was nice. I haven't done it in a while, and my grays were showing pretty badly, so I feel pretty good about my hair now. I get my hair colored. I always joke that I have no idea what my real hair color is anymore. I haven't seen my real hair color since I was 20. That's been a while. And oh, my hair's been all different colors too. But anyway, while she was doing my hair, we were talking. Her husband is retired, and we were talking about the fact that she still works, and she's like, I just don't have any hobbies. And she said, oh, my husband's picked this thing up where he paints. And I said, oh, he's painting. And she's like, yeah, but it's like this kit and they give you all the paints. And and I said, you mean it's like a paint by number? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, interesting. And she's like, yeah, have you ever heard of those? And I was like, yeah. Which I think is kind of funny because paint by number has been around for decades. I actually have a paint by number that my grandfather did. My grandfather passed away in the late 70s. But my family has always been kind of crafty. I mean, I think I mentioned before, my grandmother owned her own kiln and she used to do ceramics and things. And, um, we've painted ceramics. I know how to fire ceramics. I still have several heirloom pieces that I would never part with that she made. But I mean, we were always doing some kind of crafts, my grandmother especially encouraged us in that. My mom did too. My mom was crafty. My mom could knit and crochet and tat, and she did a lot of that when her arthritis got bad. When she got older, she would crochet a lot to keep her hands limber. My grandmother painted. She wrote poetry. We did all kinds of crafting stuff, and I think I've done macrame. I've tried to learn to knit. I can't. I know how to crochet. My mom used to sew and make all of our clothes, so I know how to sew. I don't anymore because my eyes are not good enough, but I know how. I've done quilting. Of course, needlepoint, cross stitch, crewel, latch hook. I mean, gosh, a lot of crafts, model painting, you name it, I've done it, tried it, whatever. So anyway, paint by number, that's where I was going. Sorry, that was a wild tangent. My grandfather did a painting of the Last Supper. That was a paint by number. Now, my grandmother, in her later years, she retired at 55, back when you could do that. Remember when you could retire at 55? And she traveled a lot at first. And then she took up all kinds of hobbies. I wish she was still around so I could talk to her now that I'm a little bit older and I have so many questions. She took a whitewater rafting trip. She took a trip to Europe. And she ended up taking some painting classes that was the Bob Ross School of Painting. It wasn't Bob Ross teaching them, of course, but her brother, my uncle, my great uncle actually, but we just called him uncle, had been doing it for a couple of years, and he got her talked into doing it. So she went to a couple classes with him and she loved it. And so I have a couple of her oil paintings that she made. So there's all kinds of little crafty things around my house. I have a lot of needlepoint cross stitch things that my sister has made for me. Paintings that my grandma made. Just a lot of crafty stuff. So I just thought it was funny that she was like, oh, have you ever heard of paint by number? She'd never heard of it, didn't know anything about it until her husband picked it up. And she's like, I don't know where he found it. But I just had to laugh. I keep wondering if I would enjoy paint by number. My oldest is very artistic and is a very good artist, drawer, however you want to say that. Definitely has her own style, has been doing it long enough that she's developed her own style, but of me and my siblings, I think my brother is the one who is the best drawer artist of all of us. We're all kind of artistic in different ways. I mentioned before, my sister does a lot of scrapbooking and she makes her own cards, that kind of thing. My brother paints miniatures, I paint miniatures, but he can actually draw. He used to draw a bunch of stuff when he was in high school. I still have some stuff that he made me when he was in high school. He was really good at that kind of stuff. So I've just always been more of a dabbler, I think. One of the things I liked besides cross stitch and sewing was I enjoy painting too. I was a face painter at a rent fair for several years. That was my business. I face painted and I made little costume pieces for kids to wear. So haven't done that in years though. And I do some drawing. I draw mandalas and do some other things like that. And I've tried my hand at drawing some of the things that my oldest does, but I'm just not as good at it. Haven't had as much practice as she has. Haven't been doing it as long, but so, oops, I missed a K over there. Is that all the Ks? I think so. And I ended up single placing most of those, didn't I? I think I get into a rhythm when I'm talking. And so my brain is just like single place, single place, single place, because I get confused if I try to multi-place. I can't do two things at once, guys. I can't walk and chew gum. Oh no. I mean, I joke, but right now I don't know if I could walk and chew gum as bad as my knee hurts. Really glad that I reorganized my space so that I could fit my feet underneath the desk when I'm doing these WIP and chats, because sometimes the angles that I would have to contort into while I was sitting here trying to do this were kind of entertaining. So, not to anyone but me, of course, but oh, I feel like it's been a long day already, even though it really hasn't been. Went and got my hair done, and then that just always takes a while. I have long hair and it's thick and it's just a lot of work some days. So, and I had her do my eyebrows at the same time. I try to keep them cleaned up in between visits, but I've reached the age where if I pluck all of my gray eyebrow hairs, I will not have hardly any eyebrows. So sometimes I just decide that I'm going to ignore them and I'll wait until I go in and see her and let her mess with it. Not that her sight sometimes is any better than mine. She's older than me, but it's easier for her to look at my face sometimes than it is for me. Ever since I had my LASIK surgery, anything up close is more of a challenge than it used to be. So my husband came with me to my hair appointment, so we visited while I had my hair done, and then we went and got something to eat, and then I stopped in at work and he visited with my sister while I did some things at work. So it was afternoon by the time we came home, which is fine, but I just feel like most of my day, even though I'm supposed to have today off of work, just feel like a lot of it kind of got sucked up by work, which, you know, that's my choice. I didn't have to go into work today, but it makes it easier for me, will make it easier for me next week. that I went in today and got some things done. So guess it's all good. I'm trying to continue working on the channel because I think I've mentioned before, one of the things that I want, one of my goals for this channel was that, you know, it would be something that would get me some income that would be location independent, so that if and when we ever move, you know, it's kind of something that I can take with me rather than, you know, moving and having to start basically all over and find a new job and a new place to live and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted something that would be location independent. But now that I've met my 1,000 subscriber goal, it's kind of like, well, I need to set some new goals because, right, if you don't have any goals, then how do you know where you're going, right? And I don't want the channel to feel aimless. So I need to figure out where I want to go from here. So I have a few things in mind that I know I want to do. And I'm still kind of new at all of this. So I need to just do some basic admin housekeeping things that I haven't gotten around to yet. And it just seems like there's always something else going on, you know? Every time I think, okay, I'm going to sit down and do this today, then something happens and I get pulled aside to work on something, whether that's, you know, YouTube related or not. So kind of like our Canadian paperwork, I keep telling myself, okay, I'm going to sit down and work on it today. And then before I knew it, the day is over and I haven't done anything with it. So just going to have to make it a priority. And it's not like we're in a huge rush, but the sooner we get it sent in, then the sooner the whole process starts, right? If we don't ever get it turned in, then we're never going to go anywhere because it's going to take forever. So this is going so much faster than my other one. My other one is a square, but I only have 2 sections left on that one, and then it will be done. And then I can move on to the next one. I already have several unboxed, as I said, and several that I'm going to be kitting up because I want to do some testing with them. And I also have, I really want to kit up my paint with diamonds ones because everybody was so, like, I've never done a paint with diamonds before, and I guess a lot of the things that kind of went on with them happened before I was in the diamond painting community. So I missed a lot of that. But it sounded like they've made a lot of positive changes. And so I want to actually get the kitted up and start working on it so I can see if it is good as it looks like it's going to be. And then I have a Diamond Art Club that I want to unbox. It's one that's been hanging around since Black Friday of last year. So, you know, I figure, hey, it's been in there a year. Maybe I should actually, I don't know, open it and do it. Crazy. Call me crazy. But that road just got really crooked for some reason. It's like a drunk person laid those drills. Man. I try to keep mine as straight as I can. I know they're never perfect, but that's okay. Somebody told me once that perfection is an illusion. We can practice, but we'll never attain it. And then, what is that that somebody figured out you have to spend 10,000 hours at something to become a master of it. I wonder if I've spent 10,000 hours diamond painting yet. I mean, I keep track of all my projects. I should go back and add it up and see how many hours I've done it. 10,000 hours. I bet I haven't gotten anywhere close to that yet. Because, see, Diana was 180 hours, I think. And she was my biggest project. Now, I've had several projects that have gone over 100 hours, but she was my biggest project. Well, still is to date, I think, hour-wise and size-wise. And so, and I don't have enough of those other big ones that I'm going to get anywhere close to 10,000. But I don't know how many little ones I've done. You know, even an hour here, an hour there probably adds up. So, I don't know. I have to figure that out. 10,000 hours seems like a lot. Wonder if they just stole that because you're supposed to also get 10,000 steps a day. Somebody just decided 10,000 seemed like a good number. I have not been getting anywhere near 10,000 steps a day with my knee the way it is. It's kind of funny. Tuesday, after it popped, it was so sore, and I basically spent the day laying on the couch and missed a meeting at work, and it hurt all the way up into my hip, and I was convinced that I had done something majorly wrong to it. And then Wednesday I went to work, but I was on crutches, and I did okay. Thursday I had PT, and after I left PT, it was actually much, much better. I mean, I felt not completely back to where I was, but maybe not back to square one, more like square 5 or 6 maybe. But then today it's been sore, and I have to remember to get up and move around. I need to get one of those watches, I guess, that vibrates every couple of hours and reminds me to get up and walk around, because especially when I'm diamond painting, it's so easy to forget that I'm just sitting. And I try to remember to just even move my knee around, you know, to like extend it, to work the joint a little bit, to raise it up, to use some of the muscles and things. And I still, sometimes that isn't enough. After getting my hair done today and sitting in the chair for a couple of hours, getting up and walking around was not fun. And then I went to work and thought, oh, I'm going to be sore walking around work, but it was actually not too bad. So I don't know, maybe some of it is psychosomatic. I just think it's going to hurt, and so it does. Or maybe I'm just crazy and it doesn't hurt at all. It's all in my head. Guess we'll find out when they do the MRI. Now, stick to the canvas, not the pen. Thank you. Whoops, that one is not the right size. Let me put that in the... How did I miss that one? See, once again, I should be multi-placing because I could have been doing this a lot faster, but my brain just gets into that rhythm of pick up, drill, place, pick up, drill, place. And then while I'm trying to think of stuff to talk about, I just get in that rhythm. And then before I know it, oh, I'm done with that color. Which is nice. I spend a lot of time thinking while I'm diamond painting. I spend a lot of time thinking while I'm in the shower. Some of my best ideas happen when I'm in the shower. Are you a shower or a bath person? My last house that we lived in, I didn't have a tub, and I hated it. I was like, where we move, I'm going to have a tub, going to have a tub, going to have a tub. We've lived here for 9 years, 10 years, and I've used that tub maybe 4 times. Maybe. So, yeah, I don't know why I was so gung-ho to have one. I never use it. Just not a tub person. Every once in a great while, it's nice to just lay in there and soak, but I'm short, and so I don't fit comfortably in a tub. By the time my feet touch, my head's almost under the water. So, yeah, I'm just more of a shower person. Plus, I have long hair, and so I don't like to have to put it up because I don't want it to get in the bath water. Plus, when I take a bath, I feel like I need to take a shower again anyway. Like, I feel like I've been sitting in dirty water. Yuck. So, yeah, I'm more of a shower person. I can appreciate a bubble bath, but I appreciate it for the relaxation of it, not for the getting clean part of it. I don't think I took baths a whole lot as a kid either. Took showers. That was fun growing up too. We lived in a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, and there were 5 of us. My mom and dad, me, and my brother and my sister. And you know what? We grew up just fine with my sister and I shared a bedroom. That part was not fun. And it was irritating to us always that my brother got his own room just because he was a boy. Because he was the baby. But we only had 1 bathroom and we survived. My children now think there's no way they could survive. They share a bathroom. The other bathroom in our house is the one in our master bedroom. So my husband and I have one, and then the kids share one, which they hate. They keep asking us to finish. We could have a third bathroom in the basement. We've just never finished it because we just didn't want to spend the money, didn't think we needed to, honestly. We were going to when we first moved in, but then life happened and other things came along, and now it just seems kind of unimportant in the scheme of things. So, yeah, they keep asking us to finish it. And I'm like, no, because you guys don't clean the one that we have, so I don't want to finish it just to make more work for myself. So that's why I told my husband, when we move, I want to downsize. I want less things to take care of, not more. When all of the children were gone, I thought they would downsize. Nope, they moved into a bigger house. My mom liked to entertain, and so they moved into a bigger house that had like a formal dining room, and there was a party room downstairs, and yeah, I just don't want to take care of all that. I mean, I guess if I had lots of money and I had someone who could, clean it for me, then maybe I wouldn't care, but I don't plan on having that, and I don't want to take care of it, so I think that's that sometimes people get so caught up in, what they think they need instead of what they actually want and or need. I don't want a big house. I don't need a big house, first of all, but I don't want one. I don't want to take care of it. And even if we had enough money to have someone take care of it, I still wouldn't want it. I just don't need that much room. I don't want to take care of the house. I have other things I'd rather be doing with my time, like diamond painting or filming YouTube videos or traveling, or I like to just go on a car ride, drive around, see what I can see. Sometimes I take my camera and I take pictures. So, but yeah, cleaning a house is not high on my list of priorities. So, I mean, I clean my house, but I don't want to spend all my time doing it. Like, I keep my house neat and tidy because I don't want to spend a bunch of time cleaning it. We were talking about that at work the other day. One of the ladies I work with said that she would rather clean bathrooms than do laundry. And I was like, hey, let's trade, because I can't stand cleaning bathrooms and I could do laundry all day long. Laundry doesn't bother me a bit. And she just can't stand doing laundry. It's kind of funny because I'm like, why would you pick cleaning a bathroom over laundry? That makes zero sense to me. But then again, she doesn't understand why I would pick laundry, so I guess we're even. I'd probably be one of those people that was like, oh, someone's coming to clean my house. I got to clean it up. Which kind of defeats the whole purpose, but I feel like that's what I would do. So consequently, I clean my own house. Plus, it's cheaper. So, I mean, I think, we all think about, oh, well, if I had money, I would do this. And it's like, would you? Like, if you had money, would that really be what you chose to spend your money on? Oh, my nose is so itchy, you guys. I really hope that means I'm getting money. I should look that up and see what it is. What's the superstition about your nose being itchy? It probably just means I need to sneeze. Oh. It's always amazing to me how much lighter your head feels after you get your hair done. Like, I didn't really have her cut much off of it. She just trimmed it, but just getting it done feels so much better. I took my son to get his done earlier in the week, and he looks so much better with his cut too. I left it too long in between. Of course, for me, I have long hair, so if I am not in there exactly, on time or whatever, it's not as noticeable. But when you have short hair, it gets pretty noticeable pretty quick when you need a haircut. And he needed one pretty badly. I try to get him in once a month, but I think we missed last month because we had something going on, and could be all the health stuff we've had going on lately. Who knows? But I missed getting him in for some reason. And I missed this in down here for some unknown reason. So let me go back and fill that one in. And then I'm ready to move on to the next one. I feel like I'm making good progress on this, even though this wasn't a full size area. It's still, any progress is progress, right? It's still more than I had done before. So let's see. So I guess that's done. I'm going to go ahead and pull off this section. I don't think I will get everything done in the time that I have left, but at least you get to see her cool face, right? And let me move her over a little bit now that this section is done, and kind of put her face in the middle of the screen. Maybe I can get her eyes and I'll try to get her features done at least during this WIP and chat. We'll see. So what have you guys been up to? Is everybody glad Halloween is over? Is everybody gearing up for Thanksgiving? I was talking about that with my hairdresser today too. She said she's been hearing on the news about all these shortages. And I'm like, I don't know why people keep talking about these shortages. I think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you tell people that there's going to be a shortage of something, everyone goes out and tries to buy a whole bunch of it and hoard it, and then there's a shortage. Because I went to the grocery store and I didn't have any trouble finding anything. We got a turkey. We got, well, we won't buy potatoes until it gets closer to it. But I mean, there were plenty of potatoes. I wasn't afraid they were going to run out if I didn't buy them. plenty of instant potatoes if you don't like real potatoes. They had plenty of, your typical. Ooh, well, I say typical. That's a question for you guys. What is typical Thanksgiving food? We have turkey, mashed potatoes, corn, baked beans, green bean casserole that I begrudgingly make for my son and my sister-in-law because they're the only ones who like it. Yams with marshmallows, of course. Sweet potatoes. I don't know what everybody calls them. We call them yams because that's what it says on the can. But then if I'm like making them from scratch, I call them sweet potatoes. So I don't know. Is there a difference between a yam and a sweet potato? They're the same thing, right? Anyway, I got that. And then for pies, I always keep stuff for pies on hand anyway. I just always have. So I always have the stuff to make a pumpkin pie. But I did go ahead and pick up all the stuff again because none of it goes bad. It's all in cans. So, and I already had all the spices, so I didn't need to worry about that. And what else did we get? Turkey, mashed potatoes, corn, green bean casserole, baked beans, yams. Oh, stuffing, which I don't make any fancy stuffing. I just buy the stuff in a box. And there was plenty of that as well. And then I always make a, excuse me, a chocolate pie because my son does not like pumpkin pie. So he always eats. My brother doesn't like it either. And my dad didn't like pumpkin pie. So I guess they all come by it honestly. So my mom, it's just been something that's what we've always done in our family. We've always made a chocolate pie at Thanksgiving. My mom used to make mincemeat pies for my uncle. He lived in Michigan, and he would come down and visit us over the holidays because he never got married, and so he would come and stay with my grandmother after my grandfather passed away, and then they would come to our Thanksgivings, and she always made him a mincemeat pie, which in all the years that she made them for him, I've never tried. So anybody else around these parts make mincemeat? No one that I know other than my family ever had mincemeat pie. That was always like a British/European thing. So I don't even know where my uncle picked that up. But he loved it. She made a pie just for him, and he'd eat the whole thing every Thanksgiving. Not in one sitting, of course, but he was the only one who ate it. So maybe that was the method to his madness. He knew he'd have at least one pie that nobody else wanted. I wouldn't put that past him at all. That would have been something he would have done. So that's our Thanksgiving, and I already have all of the stuff for it. So I'm not worried about there being a shortage of anything. I always keep some turkeys on hand anyway. We were talking about that today too, because I like turkey. And so we buy turkeys that you can cook from frozen. So I always have a couple of, they're just turkey breasts. They're not full turkeys, but I always generally have at least a couple of them in my freezer downstairs. So that, if we just decide one weekend or whatever to have turkey, we do that. And you don't have to wait for it to thaw. You cook it straight from frozen. It comes in a bag. You just throw it in the oven, set the timer, and once you check it with a meat thermometer, once the temperature is good, then it's done. So, because we don't, in my family, hardly anyone likes any of the dark meat anyway, so we very rarely get a whole turkey. I think last year we had a whole one because we ended up buying the turkey from someplace because, I don't know, my husband's the cook. I don't know if he didn't want to cook or we had something going on and so we didn't have time, or I don't know. Maybe we just felt like buying a turkey that year. I don't know. But anyway, so we talked about doing that this year, but I don't want to do that this year. So, because I feel like buying the whole turkey, a lot of it just goes to waste because, like I said, most of us in my family, we don't eat the dark meat. So when my grandmother was alive, she would eat it, but most of the rest of us don't. And so it just goes to waste, and I don't like doing that. So we just get the turkey breast. I can't wait to have some rolls though. Oh, and I buy frozen rolls. I don't make my own. The frozen ones taste way better than the ones I could make. I like baking, but baking bread is something that you kind of have to get the hang of, and I just have never done that. I like cakes and pies and like quick breads. Ooh, that sounds good. I should make some pumpkin bread. We haven't had that in forever. I have a family recipe. Of course, it uses, like, I should have bought some pumpkins and made my own pumpkin instead of just using what comes in a can, but I'm too lazy to do that most of the time. Let's see, what am I doing? R's. Trying to get the outline of her face done here, and then I'll work on her features. Fill in those fancy red lips and her eyes. Trying to see. Because once I get her face done, there'll be a little bit more of her hair up above, and then all of this off to the side is going to be this background wavy colors. So there isn't a whole lot of some of these colors in here for that reason. Ugh, and I missed an F right there. All right, let me get out the number 1 and do those. And then I'll do her lips and we'll see how far. Oh, I missed F's right in her lips. Jeez Louise. You guys, I'm not paying any attention at all today, am I? That's so bad. I get so busy talking. Can't run my brain and my mouth at the same time. These shadows down here. I should have brought my drink in here. I've been talking so much now I'm thirsty. I watch some of these other people put up like 2-hour long whipping chats, and I'm like, how do you guys talk for that long? I don't think I could talk for 2 hours. I mean, I probably could, but I definitely would want a drink. I make fun of my husband because every time we go somewhere in the car, he wants to take a drink along with him. I'm like, are you afraid you're going to die of thirst before? I mean, we could just be driving down the street to, you know, not down the street, but, you know, just like going to the grocery store or something. He's taking a drink with him. Like, really? You can't survive an hour with a drink, without a drink? Nope, 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 nope. He wants a drink. Okay, so I am going to get out F again because I missed that one right there, and then I missed the ones that were in her mouth. So let me do those real quick because I want to try and get her lips done because lips are fun. So, okay, so I think that's all the Fs, and then I'll grab the reds. Did something bounce? No. Okay, I thought there was a loose drill. Oh, there is. See, I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I thought there was a loose drill. Okay. I need number 6. And then I need number 3. I don't know if I'll get her lip. I think I'll get her lips done. I don't know if I'm going to get all of her features filled in. I got distracted was filling in a bunch of her hair instead of working on her features. Working on these and watching it, you know, like filling these in and watching it turn into lips and things is always part of the fascination for me. That's why I wondered if maybe I should try paint by number and see. Would I feel more artistic when I get done if it's a paint by number than I would if it was a diamond painting? Then there's a part of me who's like, I spend enough money on this hobby. I'm kind of scared if I started also doing paint by number, what my budget would look like at that point. Because, oof. Plus, I wonder what kind of time those take. Do they take longer than diamond painting? Plus, you have to sit and wait for it to dry in between some colors, I would guess. So, of course, I guess the canvas of it is not sticky, so leaving it open to the air while things dry is not the same as it would be with a diamond painting, right? So, that is a 5 and not an S, right? Pretty sure those are 5s. So, this is a 5, this is a 5, and this is a 5, and the rest of those are S's. Wow, that's 3 colors, could be 4 colors, 5 colors, 6 colors with the T just in her mouth. That's kind of crazy. So let's do the C's. Was there one more? Nope, just those 2. Okay. And then S, some S's. Nope, almost done. And then a T. One lonely little T. If I can get it out. That box was not cooperating. Okay. So her mouth is done. Cool. Okay. I think, guys, I'm going to call it there. I got her mouth finished, so that's some progress. And I got this whole section over here done. So it actually won't take very long to just finish her eyes. A lot of, you know, her face is just going to be multi-placing, and then I can multi-place over here to do the waves and things as well to finish that up. And yeah, I feel like I'm kind of flying through this one, so that's good. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the WIP and Chat. If you were working along, I hope you made some progress on your project. And if you were just listening, again, thanks for joining me and listening to me. Before you go, guys, don't forget to do all the things. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.